I think we need to find moral clarity, you know, in this country. And I just remember after January 6th, you had someone like Mitch McConnell placing the blame on January 6th where it belonged, squarely on Donald Trump's shoulders. And then you started seeing people backtrack that and losing their moral center. You had Condoleezza Rice, I believe, on this very show saying, you know, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on, because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery, we need to never forget, because past becomes prologue if you forget any race.
Cam, what do you think about that?
I think we in the past couple of years ago, we talked about this. There's events like this, right? That if there's the movie on Netflix, remember the one that told the court case?
Which one?
Where back in the day they were protesting, and it ended up being that they caught like FBI agents undercover. The court case was a disaster, and ended up being. You remember that movie? I don't remember the movie, which one it is. But it was three different protest groups. Three protest groups that kind of came together, and they all went down, and it was just a disaster. And they didn't want to look into it too much, and then originally, once they did, they unfolded everything, right? I still think to this day, if you look at everything that happened that day, there's still a lot of accountability that isn't being held, right? If I'm not wrong, it was recommended to bring National Guard. They didn't want to activate National Guard for it. They were told to up security. They didn't want to up security. It's almost like they wanted it to happen. You know what I mean? And also lack of accountability, kind of like what we've been talking about in the last couple of years. It's been that's shown a lot. You know what I mean? I still to this day, I think there's so many things that went wrong that you kind of got to move past it, move on, right? There's a lot worse things in history that have happened rather than January 6th. That's what I think.
You would say it's a stretch maybe to compare to the Holocaust into World War II.
Yeah, even just now, you know what I mean? When Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, when they got, was it 4 years ago, they got nominated for Times Magazine for the best whatever award, and everybody was praising them, and then Donald Trump just got nominated for Person of the Year, and then they started comparing him to Hitler, and they started saying all that bullcrap. It's just trying to make him out look like a so evil, you know what I mean? And I think even today, if I'm not wrong, they actually got Biden saying, let's just move past this. You know what I mean? Let's just keep moving forward. And I think that should be that. No, you're good. No. I just think that should be the attitude towards January 6th.
Well, I think there was a clear narrative that they wanted to establish. But at the same time, it just didn't stick. On the other hand, you have people that been jailed without a trial for almost 4 years. Well, exactly 4 years now. That is super unfair. I think an insurrection has a dictionary definition for a reason. I think an insurrection needs a plan from the people that want to insurrect or be the insurrected. And I don't know. To me, it looked like a protest that got out of hand. But then again, if the federal government considers it an insurrection, it must be an insurrection.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think, obviously it's pretty clear that was a honeypot. I think that the fact that Nancy Pelosi didn't call the National Guard was like the clearest part of that. But I think that it's funny that the most virtuous people on paper are normally the people with the most to hide. With Sunny Hostin, for example, I always remember when you remember when she got called out for her family's questionable history? You guys remember that? I have a little video here that
Nancy Pelosi's?
No, Sunny Hostin, the lady on The View that was so empathetic and would never forget. So if she wants us to never forget the past, I think we should never forget this.
Oh,
Go ahead. Put it up.
I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican.
half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that.
But yeah, so she did like a 23andMe test on the spot, like, oh, ha, 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 fun. And he's like, yeah, actually, your family is slave owners. So if she wants to compare that to slavery and the Holocaust and everything, I mean, then I don't know, what, should we still be mad at her and her family and hold her accountable for being slave owners? So that's where I'm at with that. Like, I think it's hilarious that you could just go on TV like them and just like say the craziest things with no consequences. Like, imagine saying like the opposite of what they said. Like, oh yeah, that was like such a day of national pride and it was awesome, it was great, and it was like one of the greatest things we ever. Like, people freak out about that, but people just like gloss over this like it was nothing because they're so used to them saying crazy stuff. But yeah, no, so they're crazy. I hope that their broadcast license gets looked at or something, because it's a whole crazy system, like the way that certain channels get special government broadcasting rights. I hope that gets looked at, but